Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. I'm Tomás Garza, your host, and this is going to be a fun show today. Now, I realize I say that a lot, but this one is really true because we're going back into the workbook for students today, and we're covering a couple of very profound, very important ideas from the workbook for students. So before I launch into that, I just want to say hello and welcome to everybody that's joining me from all over the world. I'm on a road trip right now with my wife, Cindy. We're in the US state of Oregon, where she's actually from and where I lived for 23 years outside of Portland. That's where we are right now, is the Willamette Valley. And it's really beautiful. I love traveling, and this is something that I know a lot of you probably love as well, and that frankly we've all missed during the last year. So it feels good to be out and about. And I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of deep level reflecting. For me, travel is always good for that sort of thing. And maybe you feel the same way about that. And it's possible that depending on where you live in the world, some of you might be able to experience this currently or hopefully very soon, again, as we all sort of, well, take a deep breath and live life, which I hope is what you've been doing the whole time anyway. So, yeah, thank you all for all of the likes, the comments, the hearts. If you've got comments and questions today, today's topic is really great, really, really great for comments, for questions. So if you've got them, I'd love to hear them. Go ahead and feel welcome to type them out here in the comment thread. And if you're catching me on the replay, this is live currently. If you're catching me on the replay, then I do check these several times a day. So it would be great to get your questions answered in comments, even if you just want to say hello to you. And thank you for joining in. All right, so we've arrived at lesson 114 in the workbook. Now, what these are, these next few lessons for the next week or so, we'll be going through and reviewing some ideas from the workbook that we've already covered. Now, I hope that you're not telling yourself, well, I know that already. I mean, you've perfectly integrated it into your life, no? Like knowledge, no? Like the Course talks about? No? Oh, okay. Well, then let's review. Let's review. It can be really, really handy because as you've noticed, and if you're following along with this, every day the workbook presents an idea, which it calls a lesson for the day. If you prefer to think of it as an idea, then think of it as an idea. Some people respond well to the terminology lesson and workbook, and others may wish to rebel. So if you're in that latter category, it's an idea. It's an idea that's presented for your contemplation and practice. Why? So that one may then integrate it into life. That's the purpose of all of this. The purpose is not to do every meditation, every practice period on the hour as instructed, as suggested, as though you're doing it by rote, checking off boxes. That's definitely not the point of it, and it deprives you of the long-lasting impact of it. It's better to do it really well and be really present. That's what I mean by really well, is to be really present for this idea once. It's better to do it once than to do it 25 times today and just check off the box. If you've got the attitude of, oh, I have to meditate. Oh, God, I have to meditate. Got other things to do, then that's we all know, with or without the dramatization, which I throw in there for free. As we all know, that's not the most ideal place mentally, emotionally to be coming from when you think about spiritual practice. It's better to be fully and authentically present once. Now, if you happen to do these more than once, as suggested in the workbook, your learning will be accelerated. You will have a better, more connected experience, and it won't take you as long to integrate these ideas into the very fabric and fiber of your being, where they actually already are. What we're doing, in fact, and in truth, is we're removing blocks to our awareness of ourself, capital S there. So, with that spirit, we've got a couple of really, really profound ideas that we're reviewing. We're reviewing two a day until this review period ends, and then we'll be back into the pattern with lesson 121 of the workbook of a lesson, an idea a day. So, the first review lesson today is lesson 97. I am spirit. I am spirit. If you want to shorten that to I am, then shorten it. One of the most profound ideas that's put forth in A Course in Miracles is the idea that we've seen already, and we're going to see again in many different forms, especially as we go along in this workbook. We're going to see it in a lot of different ways here. And that is the idea that ultimately the truth about ourselves is we are not a body. The ego would like us to think that we're a physical body with aches and pains and annoying infections, joints that ache, gray hair, all that stuff. That's the world of the ego. And in truth, we're so much more than that. And you quite clearly know that we're more than that, or you would not be watching this live stream. It's that sense that we all get that there's more to life than just showing up and checking our email, checking off the boxes in our job, collecting a paycheck, coming home, sitting in front of the television or our cell phones and binge watching Netflix, even though there's some really good shows on Netflix. Nothing against that. It's just that we all instinctively know that there's more to life than the daily grind. That's why people begin to seek spirituality and to discover that you actually are spirit. And what we're doing by practicing any spiritual path, whatever that looks like for you, is we're uncovering that. We're peeling away the layers. We're walking through a fog bank into the light. That's exactly what we're doing, a piece at a time. And people get impatient, don't they? They expect to acquire the wisdom of Buddha in 1 5-minute meditation. Well, if that happens for you, I would like you to please let me know right now. I'd like to have you as a guest right here on this show. I'll ask you one question and you can have the floor and tell us all about your experience. Please, if you've had that experience. Now, for most of us, it's a process why we're conditioned to think we're something other than we are. We are spirit. We are limitless, and a physical body cannot contain us. The reason we think it can is because we just force ourselves into that place. Our minds are so powerful, in truth, that the mind actually makes bodies. Makes them. It's not what we're told in biology class, are we? Mind actually makes bodies. What we're doing here with A Course in Miracles is we're healing on the level of the mind. Healing is of the mind, the body follows. There's no body, no physical limitation, no limitation of any kind that can contain who you really are. I know you know this. And of course, since we're all adult learners, I'm laughing as I say this because it's true of me as much as it's true for anyone, is we need to hear things many, many, many times, repeated in many different ways. If you're following along, you'll notice that Jesus says the same thing in different ways over and over and over and over and over again. So I do too. Any spiritual teacher will say the same thing over and over and over and over again, because the 257,000th time that you hear it might be the time, in fact, that you're ready, you're present enough to hear it and to feel the truth of the statement, to experience the idea for yourself, and to cultivate the little willingness that the Holy Spirit needs, as it says here in the Course, to enter in and help you run the show. In fact, run it for you. It's a decision that we make to get out of our own way. We are spirit. Lesson 98, the other review idea for today. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Not everybody is going to get on a global live stream and teach. That may not be your part to play. And if you don't know what your part is, that's absolutely okay. This is all a process where we begin to get clear on that. How do we get clear on that? We ask. Ask your teacher, ask your guides. If you have a human teacher, ask your human teacher. If you have a non-human teacher like the Holy Spirit or angels or other guides, ask your guides. Ask your guides for this. We all have a different role to play. Why there are different people that appear to be running around having different experiences. We all appear to be separate. We're not separate in truth, but since we're having that experience, it takes many, many different people to reach everybody. That is what the body is for, by the way, according to the thought system of A Course in Miracles, is that it is a communication device. It is a communication mechanism to reach people where they're at. Yeah. It's to reach people on the level at which they find themselves believing they're a body. What's going to happen? They relate to a body. If you say you're not a body, some people will say, okay, right. I feel like that's true. In fact, I even agree with that. But you'll also have people that think you're nuts. They will laugh you out of the room. They will ostracize you. Maybe you're that person in your family. Maybe you're the black sheep of the family, that weird spiritual aunt or uncle or something like that, that people dismiss until they're sick of suffering in their daily life. And they realize, yeah, let's ask aunt or uncle for a little guidance because I need it right now. So whatever role you play, you have a unique role. And I insist, with a smile on my face, yeah, I'm being pushy and demanding with a smile on my face here. I insist that you practice your spirituality. If you don't know what that is, I insist that you continue to search for what resonates with you until you find what resonates with you and put it into practice in your life. Why? If you don't, you'll leave a lot of people behind. There are people in this world right now that will resonate with your message above all others. You might even say that there are people in this world that only you can truly reach. So would you leave them abandoned in hell? Because this is hell. Separation is hell. It's not a place. It's not a place with fire and ash and brimstone or a freezing cold hell like several Buddhist traditions might depict. There's no hot hell, cold hell. Separation is hell. This is direct from this thought system of A Course in Miracles. Now, to say that might be deemed radical, no problem. I have no problem with that. Jesus, the ultimate radical, right, had no problem with that. And he had no problem with it when he dictated this message several decades ago. Everybody's got their part to play. And I insist that you play it because you owe it not to yourself, not just to yourself, but to everyone else. Everyone needs you to stand up, to make the decision that you're going to choose love and to choose love. and to lead, to teach in whatever way it looks like for you. You may not hold yourself out as a teacher, as I do. And this is what I'm here to do in this world, is teach. Now, we're all, in fact, teaching because we're all demonstrating to other people at all times. We're demonstrating what? The level or non-level of our own learning. In other words, if we exude and extend loving thoughts, we're teaching people that they are love. Now, if we run around hateful and shouting obscenities at people, posting all kinds of garbage, I prefer to insert another word for garbage, by the way. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Starts with an S. They're posting all that on social media. Why? Because you can. So if that's the face that you're presenting to the world, think about it. You're showing them that that's what they are. We're each other's mirrors. We actually are each other. We're actually one. So what we're teaching in this world, we're demonstrating our own level of learning. We're demonstrating our own integration of these universal spiritual principles into our lives. That's what we're doing. So it doesn't matter if you happen to have a so-called teaching role or not. Everyone's got their part to play. If you don't know what it is, ask. You're here watching this because you're ready. Yeah, there's no coincidence. Nobody stumbles upon this live stream on Enlightened World Network, a deeply spiritually devoted platform. Nobody runs into me by chance. You have not turned this on by chance. Even if you only watch 5 seconds of this, it's not an accident. You have a part to play in God's plan for salvation. If you're aware of what that is, excellent. If you're not aware, excellent. Ask. Everyone wants you to ask. I want you to ask, but don't take it from me. Take it from yourself. Do you want to? And I hope that the answer to that may be a resounding yes. Yes, I do. So again, the review ideas for today: I am spirit, and I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Wonderful. All right. So I thank you all for joining in here. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to turn my volume off and the comment thread on and see who's joining me so I can say hello to you all today. All right. And thank you all for tuning in here. Any questions that you might have, feel welcome to leave them here in the comment thread. And a reminder that you can go back and watch all of the back episodes of this live stream on Enlightened World Network's YouTube channel. That's Enlightened World Network. There is a playlist for every single show on the network, including this one. And the title of this one is A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. And I will see you back here again tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in today.